The Leadership Maxims approach is all about going through the four aspects of leadership: leading yourself, leading the thinking, leading your people, and leading a balanced life. And you answer a bunch of questions under each of those four aspects of leadership. What comes out of that process is an articulation of a bunch of statements or images that have deep emotional meaning for you, that help you identify how you want to lead, how you want to behave, and how you want to show up as a leader. In so much leadership training out there and so much of the leadership literature that's around, you hear the A word a lot: authentic. Oh, I want to be an authentic leader. How you can be more authentic in your leadership. What does it actually mean? And when you take a step back from it, it means just being who the heck you are. It's about being real, which means you have to expose yourself a little bit. You have to put yourself out there and say, here's my story, here are my experiences, here are the things I personally care about and what's important to me. Sometimes we got to share things that aren't so pretty about us. We have to share our failures, the things that we're afraid of. The whole Leadership Maxims approach is designed to walk you through that conversation and help you articulate who you are as a real person. I don't want to hear the buzzwords that come out of it. I want to hear your personal story and how that story impacts how you lead, how you work with people, and how you show up every day. So you want to be authentic. It just means being you. And that's what the book is about. That's what Leadership Maxims is about, is being able to say, this is who I am, and share that story with people in a meaningful and thoughtful way. The process I walk you through is creating your own leadership maxims. A maxim is nothing more than a short statement that's a rule of behavior or conduct. And the way I ask you to articulate those maxims is come up with something that's a reminder for how you want to behave. For me, a maxim is, what would Nana say? And I look at, what would my Nana say if I was in a specific situation? I would want to behave in a manner that she would be okay with and not yell at me in Italian and all the words I'm not supposed to say. So what would Nana say ends up being that maxim. It's a short, pithy statement that helps drive my behavior in a manner that I'm comfortable with. One piece of paper is, I think, different than a lot of the leadership books you're going to read out there because the tone of it is very conversational. I write like I talk. I can't come up with all these brilliant buzzwords and try to put together all these constructs. It's much easier for me to just think about, I'm having a conversation with somebody, what would I say to them? And how do I just say it plainly and directly? I don't have time for BS, and neither do you. As a leader, you don't want to go in and read a bunch of polysyllabic stuff that talks about maximizing shareholder value and things that sound really great in a business school case. You want to talk about, what's your personal story? Tell me about a story that just was, it really sucked, a really difficult time in your life. Tell me about it. How do we boil that down to something that's emotionally meaningful for you? Because the method shouldn't be complicated. The introspection is really complicated and the thought becomes very deep on your part. The guided questions to get you there need to be really direct and really straightforward. I used to be a tank platoon leader. I don't know people who are much more direct than guys who shoot tanks. Now, the only fighting I ever did was in a bar, and it's a long story, and I was justified, and I didn't get arrested or anything, but I tend to be really direct. You gotta have fun. You gotta enjoy what you're reading and what you're writing as well. So the tone of the book, I think you'll find very refreshing. There's no BS. It's really straightforward, and I've tried to make it as accessible as possible. What's great about the Leadership Maxims method is it reduces misunderstanding and it improves trust. You look at so many management teams out there and they range in levels of dysfunction, from functionally dysfunctional to completely and ridiculously dysfunctional. When you approach it from the Leadership Maxim standpoint, have everybody on that team articulate, this is what's important to me, this is who I am as a leader, this is how I want to interact with other people, this is how I keep my life in balance. When we eliminate those misunderstandings among members of that team, first, we stop doing things that are going to annoy other people. If we don't understand that this one person's balanced life is about being there for their kids' soccer games, and we're always asking that person to work late and they end up missing those soccer games, they hate us, but we don't understand why they hate us. We just know they hate us. When Maxims makes it transparent that a big part of this person's balance in life is being there for their kids' sporting events, we understand the dysfunctional behaviors better, and we can stop them and actually start interacting on a much more functional level.